There was a woman whose name is Juliet. Her husband died on a quiet evening that should have been ordinary. But from that moment, her whole world collapsed into a silence so heavy it felt like the air refused to move. She stood outside the hospital holding her little boy, John, who gripped her hand with frightened innocence, not yet understanding what it meant to lose a father forever. The next morning, life showed no mercy. Bills piled up. The landlord threatened. Hunger visited them more often than hope. Juliet and her son lived in a leaking one-room apartment where the wind whistled through cracked windows and darkness clung to the corners like a shadow that refused to leave. John barely ate once a day. Juliet would pretend she wasn't hungry, smiling through the ache in her stomach, just so her son could have the last spoon of Gary. His school fees were always a battle she rarely won. Many days he stayed home, watching other children in their uniforms walk past while he sat by the doorway wondering when things would change. But every night, after washing clothes until her fingers wrinkled and sore, after sweeping shops for a few coins, after selling whatever small thing she could find, Juliet whispered one quiet sentence to herself. One day this pain will end. She never stopped fighting. She never stopped believing. She took any job she found, sweeping, cleaning, packing, cooking for people who barely acknowledged her existence. Her feet cracked, her back ached, and her eyes carried a tiredness only a struggling mother could understand. Yet every evening when she returned home, John ran into her arms with a smile that made every sacrifice worth it. To him, his mother was a warrior, hero, a queen without a crown. Years passed slowly, painfully, but John grew into a determined young man, shaped by hardship, strengthened by love. He studied harder than anyone else, borrowing books, reading by candlelight, refusing to allow their suffering to defeat him. Juliet watched him with pride, knowing she had poured every breath, every tear, every drop of strength into raising him well. Then came the day everything changed. John received his university admission letter. Juliet held the paper with trembling hands, her tears falling like rain. It felt like the first true miracle after years of storms. But the journey was far from easy. School fees, transport, feeding. Juliet worked even harder, skipping meals, taking night jobs, sacrificing everything just to keep her son in school. And John, he never forgot. He carried his mother's struggle inside him like fuel. When he graduated with honors and secured a high-paying job shortly after, it felt as though the heavens had finally opened for their family. John didn't waste a second rewriting their story. The first thing he brought home was food, bags and bags of it. Juliet looked at the kitchen table and broke down in tears. For the first time in years, they had enough. More than enough. Then he paid every debt. Then he moved them into a clean, bright apartment where the walls didn't leak and the floors didn't crack. And then, months later, he walked her outside and handed her keys to a brand new car. Juliet touched the shiny door, her fingers trembling. "John, my son, is this truly for me?" John smiled, his voice thick with emotion. "For everything you sacrificed. This is just the beginning, Mama." And it truly was. As time passed, John bought her a beautiful house, bigger than any house she had ever imagined. He opened businesses for her, one after another. She went from a struggling widow to a confident, successful woman with multiple thriving ventures. Today, Juliet stands surrounded by blessings she once prayed for in tears. Her life transformed beyond anything she thought possible. Her son, now a wealthy and successful man with his own family, remains grateful, humble, and deeply devoted to the woman who raised him with nothing but love and strength. And whenever Juliet holds her grandson, she whispers the same words that carried her through her darkest days. One day, the story changes. Because her pain did not go in vain. Her struggle turned into glory. And her son became her greatest reward.